Bring home the beef this October at the new Lloydminster Nissan. Finance any new vehicle with the new Lloydminster Nissan, and you'll get a quarter of beef at Diamond 7 Meats for free. Selection is at its best at the new Lloydminster Nissan with an amazing lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, like the incredible Nissan Pathfinder and very popular Nissan Rogue. Finance a new Nissan Frontier and fill your freezer this winter. Bring home a new Nissan and bring home the beef only at the new Lloydminster Nissan, now on Highway 17 South. The new Lloydminster Nissan. We won't sell you a car, we'll help you buy one.
Local people. Local news and events. Local sports. Local matters. For all things Lloydminster area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Welcome into the new Lloydminster Nissan. We are now located on Highway 17 South. And for the month of October, you can fill your freezer when you finance a new vehicle with the new Lloydminster Nissan, because you're going to get a free quarter of beef from Diamond 7 Meats when you finance that new vehicle here at the new Lloydminster Nissan. Plus, we want you to get winter ready. I saw some snowflakes the other day. There weren't many, not as many as they've gotten in Calgary and to the north, but there was a little bit of snow flying around. And we're getting you winter ready in our service department with 25% off wheel alignments, 15% off battery maintainers and in-cabin heaters. Plus, you can get a block heater inspection done and a coolant test for just $19.99. If you want winter tires, tires are at cost here at the new Lloydminster Nissan. It's not just a name, it is Superior Water. Superior Water has 2 locations in Lloydminster, and they're open on Sundays to make filling your big blue jugs a whole lot quicker and a whole lot easier. And if you want great tasting water right from your tap, you can call the Superior Water team and ask about the under the sink reverse osmosis systems. 780-875-6636. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste. I believe it is Superior Water. Monday to Friday, open 8 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 5. Well, Jason Whiting is here, and we're going to talk to Sara Christie in a few minutes as well. We're going to start our conversations with the prospective councillors as the municipal election, the civic election, I guess you could say, comes your way on November the 13th. Now, this is coming your way this Saturday. It's Poppy Day, and plenty of Legion members, including myself, are going to be out selling poppies by donation. You can find them at almost any grocery store. You can find them in businesses on the little white containers and stuff, but they kick it off by being out there and being in front of you and asking you for a donation and, you know, hoping that you'll put a poppy on. Now, this spring, Heather and I are taking a trip to Europe, and you can come along with us and see battlefields and museums. We're going to be on Juno Beach on June the 6th. We're going to see where John McCrae rode in Flanders Fields. And we're going to take a look at Vimy Ridge, of course, and Dunkirk and things like that. It's a World War I and World War II trip. And we hope that you'll come along. The easiest thing to do is just call Lambert Travel, 780-875-4414, or go to lamberttravel.ca, and you can see the whole trip listed there. It starts in Amsterdam on May the 28th. Keep those nominations coming in, because Tuesday we're going to be out to deliver another dozen cupcakes. Cupcakes for Caregivers comes your way from the Lloydminster United Way and Sobeys here in Lloydminster. If you know a caregiver, like a doctor or a nurse or someone even closer to you that takes care of a family member, all you have to do is send an email to livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. They could receive a dozen cupcakes to share with their family or share with their co-workers. Cupcakes for Caregivers, again, brought to you by the Lloydminster and District United Way and Lloydminster Sobeys. Live with Kurt Price, excited to team up with Parton Productions and the Lloydminster Lions as we bring the American Outlaws, a tribute to Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and the Man in Black, Mr. Johnny Cash, to town. The show is May 8th in Kid Scotty, and tables of 8 are currently available. 780-871-1505 to get that table. You can also stop in and see Ray and his team at Exhaust Masters. They've got the tables there. But if you like classic country music and outlaw music, this is going to be a real fun night with a 7-piece band and an opening act and a whole lot of dancing. And we're excited that Core Dynamics and Spiros have teamed up to hold a fundraiser for the Forges family. As you may know, Paul Forges was our man behind the camera here on Live with Kurt Price for over 4 years, and Paul had an awful battle with cancer. And now his wife Faye is behind our camera here. And what they're doing with Core Dynamics and Spiro's is they're offering ready-to-bake pizzas and Spiro's special sauce to be picked up at Core Dynamics on November 8th. Go to spiros.ca and you can order your pizza there. Also want to tell you about another haunted house. Boy, Lloydminster and area have done up Halloween like we've never done it up before. Like Weaver Park has this haunted house, the Border Paws has their haunted house, and now Newcart Contracting presents a trick-or-treat haunted house out at Turtle Lake, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Each night, October the 28th through November 3rd. It's on the east side of Turtle Lake at... is it Lobes Beach? Is that how you say it?
Yep.
L-O-B-E-S, Lobes Beach. And they invite you to come out. Just bring a donation for the food bank. That's all you have to do to get in. We're going to take this break, and when we come back, we're going to meet Jason Whiting, and he has served already on council. He served a while ago, took a break, went back to council, and we've got some questions for him, and we'll get his take on where this city stands in just a few moments.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back. You help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Whiting Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Whiting Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
It's more than just taxes at L&A CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at L&A CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. L&A CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and will help you get your life back. Taking care of you and your belongings and your property is what BioClean Disaster Services is all about, with an emphasis on taking care of you. Telling you what they're doing and why they're doing it is really important to this local company. And not only is BioClean Disaster Services Lloydminster's local restoration company, they're Lloydminster's largest restoration company. 1-833-246-8326, BioClean Disaster Services. Well, we begin our conversations with prospective city councillors today, and I want to thank Jason Whiting for kind of being the guinea pig for coming in and being first off. So
No
appreciate
problem.
it,
Yep.
Jason.
Enjoy. Thanks for doing this for our community. Thanks for trying to get everybody in, and it'll be great to for us as candidates, for the public, for everybody to get that sense of each of these individuals. The other opportunity, of course, is the Chamber Forum that comes up later. So, hopefully through this and through that and through conversations and through the paper and everything, we'll get a little sense of what each candidate is all about, and hopefully those that are voting can make good informed decisions.
So November 4th is the forum.
Yes, correct.
So for anybody who doesn't know you, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you served on council, because you're hoping to get re-elected.
Yes, correct.
And why you decided, it's time to run again.
Yeah, so born and raised in Lloydminster, grew up here, spent a little bit of time outside in a bigger city, Edmonton, and then overseas in Brisbane. Had that opportunity to see life outside of Lloydminster, which gave me another perspective. But really, when I started thinking about it and looking back at my history in Lloydminster, I went to school, Queen Elizabeth, then E.S. Laird, then the Lloyd Comp. And one of my first jobs was at the Co-op grocery store when it was downtown, and had a lot of, had swimming lessons at the outdoor pool before we even had the indoor pool. So, a lot of history, a lot of evolution, watching a lot of evolution of our community, and just, wanted to, bring my perspective, my history, my connections to the city. I've also, I like to say I've been fairly involved in the community in a lot of different things. We've crossed paths at a lot of different events, and we just come out of the Summer Games where I played an integral role with organizing the volunteers, and been in Rotary Club for a long time. So, all these connections is what I hope to bring to City Council, plus the history that the experience that I've had on City Council. There's no doubt, being on council the first time, there's a lot of learning. It's a steep learning curve. It deals with a lot of topics, and what we'll talk about today might touch a fraction of them, but there is a lot of things that council gets informed of, that has to make decisions on, and there's no lie. It's a challenge to be informed on everything, but we do our best to make these decisions to the best of our ability for our residents. So because of those 8 years on council, I'm hoping that that will help to inform me for the next 4 years.
So I want to talk about fostering economic growth.
Yeah.
So the first major question would be, how can City Council foster economic growth? Where do you see areas of success? And what would you do to attract more diverse businesses to our community?
Yeah, our economic development team is always working hard behind the scenes. And when a business or an organization or somebody comes to looking to invest in Lloydminster, we really have to make sure that we're ready for it. We are open to answering those questions quickly. That sometimes it's just a matter of timing, that if we don't get back to a company or a client quick enough, that we may lose that business. So we want to ensure our economic development team is well prepared, well suited, and good to go when those inquiries come through. We also need to advocate. There's a lot of times where Lloyd might get overlooked because we are on the fringe of one province or the other. We are a border town, so sometimes a province or an organization might only look at the population or what's available on the Alberta side or the Saskatchewan side of our city, which skews our data. We're very fortunate. Our trading area is pretty large. We are, we're kind of over here alone with a huge trading area, which is a great opportunity for a lot of companies to invest in. But as long as that's, sometimes that gets overlooked. They don't really recognize what's around us and how valuable this area and how the geographic placement of our city is a benefit to having such a diverse industry around here.
So if a business, Jason, because you said your economic development team has to be ready to pounce.
Yeah.
Somebody asks a question, you got to get those answers back. Let's take any business. So a business decides, hey, we're interested in coming to Lloydminster. What's the role of City Council in that? Because there's the economic development team. What's the role of City Council?
For sure, you got to realize that City Council is all about governance, and we don't necessarily get into the day-to-day operations. So all we can do is, promote our city, to anybody that we're having discussions with, whether it's businesses or provincial leaders, and really make sure that Lloydminster is top of mind when they're looking at the placement of a new industry or a new business or something like that. But when it comes to the day-to-day operations and answering those nitty-gritty details, that's definitely an administration role, and we very much try to stay away from that and just let those people, those that are smarter and have the knowledge, do their thing.
Have you ever had anybody call you and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about opening a business. Like, can you tell me a little bit about Lloydminster?" Or?
No, an example would be, a friend from another municipality found a initiative or an opportunity for a industry that looking to place themselves in the province, and all I did was forward that information, that website, that request, that email onto our city manager. That's our one employee, and it got into the right channels. And it was an opportunity. It was something that hadn't been seen by our economic development team. So it was truly an opportunity that they followed up on. Unfortunately, I don't think it was, it wasn't quite successful for one reason or the other. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was kind of like a protein processing or a lentil pea processing plant, and they placed it somewhere else. But it's those types of, that's what we can do. We can kind of be a salesman, watching for those opportunities, make sure they're known, and passing them along to administration so that they can follow up with them.
Homelessness was listed as our biggest concern in the city by Saskatchewan's MLA here, current MLA seeking re-election. What recommendations would you make to help solve the issue?
Yeah, I would be lying if I said that I have a magical solution to end homelessness or make this go away. But what I do know is that we have some very smart, very passionate, very committed individuals, both inside the city through our administration and our team, plus those that are working through other organizations. You had Kagan and Becky and Tyler with the men's shelter, the Olive Tree, and residents in recovery, all here very much in that mix, very much educated, very much in the know on that topic, and always working and striving to better our community. So, I definitely want to encourage those individuals to keep doing what they're doing. We did see an initiative come forward to council where we did put a bit of money towards the Olive Tree for that home base initiative,
yep,
which I think is an opportunity that has done well so far, and starts picking away at this topic. I look forward to, actually, this week, I think, or maybe, I think it was this week, or maybe even yesterday, we had another point in time count, which our admin plus, again, all the community support services head out into the community and do a count of those that are unhoused. It's this data collection. It's these individuals that are doing the hard work behind the scenes that I want to support and make sure that we continue to see movement. Sometimes it may not seem like there's a lot of movement on this topic, but there is definitely a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and if or when there is an initiative or a funding request coming to council, that it is balanced thoughtfully with, is there no question that if there's a need for funding for something, that then thus goes on the back of our taxpayers. So we have to make sure that we're not going deep down a rabbit hole of social funding and that, and we do need to make sure that it's a benefit to our community, and ensuring that we are, making sure the province is there to step up for some of those initiatives as well.
Now, along with homelessness, and I want to be clear, we had Brian Nickel on the show from the Lloydminster RCMP, the detachment commander. He made it clear to us that, people blame almost all crime on the homelessness. That's not the case right now. So I don't want to exactly go, don't want people to think I'm going in that direction. Right. But along with homelessness, crime is a high concern for all residents right across both provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan. So how do you think council can develop and maintain a safe and viable community for everybody?
Yeah, there's a harsh reality, which is, as a city grows, so does that opportunity for crime and criminals to work. And again, with the economics and that in society, some things shift and change, and a point in time with high inflation, some of these things get a little bit worse. Myself, I hope that I do want to continue to support the RCMP and their initiatives, make sure they're appropriately funded. I do think that, and we likely will see in the budget a number for a couple more boots on the ground, RCMP members. We will add additional 2 new members in this budget. The harsh reality again is, when we add policing, if we add more of that, it means that we do have to add more to the budget, and there is an expense. There is an expense to having more RCMP members, but we have heard loud and clear that there is a feeling of there is more crime in our community, so we just need to be aware of that, and having a couple more boots on the ground might help that. We also have our peace officers, which are our local bylaw / peace officers, and if that they're there to look after the bylaw stuff, but they're also there to do some of the traffic. Deal with some of the traffic issues, some of the tickets, and that, in some ways, that does help to take the workload off the RCMP members. So if there's also an opportunity to help them with a bit more infrastructure, or a bit more, maybe there's some more boots on the ground at a reduced cost than an RCMP member, that might be the way to go with that. But for this budget, we'll likely see those 2 new members and see where that goes.
We hear often that Saskatchewan doesn't supply any dollars for our RCMP officers here. Colleen mentioned that when they moved the RCMP station to the other side of the border, there was the decision to go with this division rather than that division. Were you on council at that time? Do you remember that?
Oh, I think that was slightly before my first term or thereabouts. It was just a bit of a reality, I don't know if that was fully looked at or fully addressed. It was kind of in our charter, there's difference in how RCMP is funded on Saskatchewan and Alberta, and when we moved to the detachment to the Alberta side, and then all our funding solely came from Alberta. We do get underfunded from the Saskatchewan side. And it's something that we have talked about for years since it happened. We would have a councillor or one of us always ask the question wherever at the Saskatchewan Urban Municipality Conference. We would always have that opportunity to ask our Saskatchewan Minister of Policing and that exact question, and the conversations continue. We do what is unique to Lloydminster because of our border. We do have that charter. That charter states which act we follow when it comes to education, healthcare, emergency, all that sort of stuff, and policing. This is where where the Saskatchewan government looks at that and goes, well, it just needs to be reworked, and we need to have a better arrangement with Saskatchewan in order to ensure that we are getting the right amount of funding for our Saskatchewan residents.
Well, healthcare is a provincial responsibility. What role do you see council playing in order to ensure residents are getting the best care possible close to home?
Yeah, we always want to ensure that our community has good and adequate health care, even though it doesn't fall under the purview of a city council. We have, through our mayor has been very active in getting out there and chatting with both provinces, and to the point where we just had this year, both provinces come to the table, come to City Hall, sit down, both ministers, and sit down and talk about health in our community, which is, it's quite a feat. Like, if you really think about that, to get all the individuals that are around, in that bubble, that are around that, to come to Lloydminster to talk about healthcare and really dive into the issues, because I think it's just, we're such a unique community that sometimes those issues, if you don't talk about them, they just don't get addressed. And so I give props to our mayor for making that happen. And that's what we need to do as a council member. When we do see a Saskatchewan minister or Alberta minister, is to keep that top of mind, keep them thinking about it, keep them knowing that we do have some healthcare challenges, and advocating for our healthcare in Lloydminster.
Many user groups of the BioClean Aquatic Center wish they had more accessibility to the pool, and increased lanes length has come up, and we're using a temporary space right now for our museum. Move the library to the Lloyd Mall. I don't think that's supposed to be permanent. There's a new event center that is going to be set to open here in 2025. What do you see as the next major recreational facility needed for our community, and how can we pay for this without increasing taxes?
Yeah, there's a big question. There's a lot in it, and the pool. Yes, we've heard many times that we could have. The pool is still good. It's been around for a while. It's getting. We wish we had something newer, flashier, a little bit bigger, more opportunity for programming and that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, the pool was built with a lane pool that doesn't quite meet the standards of what what you need for races, what you need for some of these meets and that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, it doesn't have any good seating as well either. It's those things looking back where you wish you would have invested more back then that I hope future council also considers when they're looking at these new and big projects, is that, well, yeah, we could just settle for this and build it for this point in time. But the reality is, if we do spend more now, if we do make it bigger, if we do make it well suited for other things, then it'll help us in the long run. And that's the pool and the lane pool is a prime example of that. I don't know when we'll see a new pool. I know that it's been a big topic. I wish that we had lots of money that we could just build a new pool. But I also am open to conversations that really think outside the box. I know there's other municipalities that partner with school boards or something like that to build maybe a library with a pool, or a part of the school is attached to a library. And so there's other ways of sharing the infrastructure burden with other groups, organizations, entities, stuff like that. So library, it's kind of temporary, but at the same time, I think this is a great it's been doing very well. I think we've seen a tremendous increase in the attendance and users of the library. Some of the in Saskatchewan, because we do fall into Saskatchewan when it comes to the Library Act, that we're one of the highest when it comes to increase in library cards and that sort of thing. So we're seeing good strides in the use of the library, and I think it's also a good way to kind of test the waters when it comes to our library is still a viable thing. Some people would argue that not what we need in this day and age. So when it comes to funding these types of recreation projects, there's no question that it kind of goes back to one of our previous comments about economic growth, is that if one of the true ways to fund these is to have a greater tax base, a greater assessment, bring more industry into town to use those taxes to put towards infrastructure. So if we can, if we can see new retail, commercial, residential buildings, and that is what offsets the burden of the taxes on our residents themselves. So I would love to see more industry come to town, and that's part of the initiative to keep economic booming. Another thing is just to continue to follow and chase those grants that come forward when they do, and yeah.
It sounds like you might kick the can down for another 4 years. It might be like we just can't move ahead with this until we get some more stuff off the books. Is that what I'm hearing, Jason?
When it comes to
like you mentioned the pool first, so let's start there. It sounds like if you had a choice, it would be the pool. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like if you had a choice, it would be the pool, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the pool is definitely next on the list. in my eyes. We are seeing a new turf field at Holy Rosary that will be shared with different user groups in the community. Another enclosed turf field might be a good opportunity, might be something that we look at. That would allow for a variety of different opportunities inside, sporting, soccer, whatever you want to use that for. So those might be maybe the low-hanging fruit. A pool is a huge expense in this day and age, and we are starting to see some of the interest rates come down. So maybe things will look better, and maybe some of the cost of building will come down. I would like us to start planning for that. Start us thinking about a new pool. I don't know if there's an ability to expand the pool. I feel like there isn't. I don't feel like it's that easy, but you never know. That's for people much smarter than me with degrees in engineering that could look into that.
Do you believe that as a council member, the city has been transparent? Is there anything more that could be done to make the city more transparent?
Well, I'd be open to any suggestions. I know that every one of our council meetings is live streamed. Anybody has the ability to view it and listen to it, watch it live. I know that those videos are then archived and are available online if anybody wants to go back and look at them. The agenda packages are posted, so all those documents are available. We have financials available online. It might, if there's anything, it might be a challenge to navigate to the website to find these sort of things, and if that's an issue, I'd like to hear about it. But the reality is, if there's anything that anybody wants to hear or wants to talk about, that's us. That's our role as councillors, is to get that information to those individuals. We do host open houses. We've hosted many open houses over the past this council for a variety of different topics. We put surveys out there. I know it's not exciting to fill out a survey about transportation, or right now there's one, I think, for solid waste collection. So these things aren't the most exciting, but that's what we that's what we need in order to fuel these decisions, is information and opinions from our public. So again, when you see a survey come out, and whether it's for a budget or for public transit or for anything, is to please fill them out so that we can get all the data we can.
When you're making decisions, do you base your answer on the information and recommendation of the city administration only, or are there outside parties that may try and sometimes influence those decisions?
There's always I do want to hear from our taxpayers about, and we do hear from our taxpayers on topics occasionally, and that's what I love, because that means that they're paying attention, that our administration doesn't always get it right. Our job is to question administration, and we have questioned administration on a lot of different topics and make sure, and we've pushed back on some of the projects that have come forward and that. So I definitely do hope that taxpayers and residents continue to provide me with their opinion and some thoughts on agenda packages or agenda items. That's part of this role as councillor, is to take that input and put it forward into our decisions. Do I get any sort of input from any large organizations? No, just local businesses and local taxpayers. End of story.
You brought up public transit, so
Yes.
Let's go there. Do you believe the city should invest in public transportation? Why or why not?
I think there is a time and place for public transit in Lloydminster. I don't know when that is. We did go through a public transportation master plan. It has been presented to City Council, and it definitely states that there are individuals that would use public transit. I get it. We do want to. I do want to ensure that we can grow if we need public transit to help grow our economy, then it's a need. And there are individuals that would use it, seniors as well, those just to get around our community. And those less fortunate as well. We just need to know that, public transit does not pay for itself. you can charge rider fees. You also want to charge rider fees that are affordable. And the reality is those rider fees do not cover the costs of a public transit system, operational, maintenance, infrastructure, all that. So we as taxpayers need to know that. And we need to, I think, make a decision on how much we want to spend on that, what it looks like, and continue hearing the information that's put forward to us, because we will see different styles of transit. We do have, the simple one loop sort of transit system. Then we get a little bit more complex with multi-loop systems, and each time it becomes more and more money and requires more and more investment. We also are investigating an on-demand type system, kind of for public transit, but still something that you would put a call out, kind of like a taxi, kind of like an Uber, to come pick me up at a location close to us, close to where you need to be picked up. I do think that that's a unique opportunity. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. I just, it's a challenge, because it does.
Kind of like
it
Border
will
City
cost
Connects does, but
Yeah.
for not just those that need help in and out and things like that.
And the other hope is that, maybe there is an organization like Border City Connects that that we can partner with, that we can look at using them to help with this topic, because there's no doubt that anytime that a municipality takes on something like public transit or another type of service, that it will cost more. It just will. You will be using union employees, you'll be using just a higher cost product, and it would be a great cost savings to our city if we had an organization like Border City Connects try and build something or help with this challenge. If it was them, that would be great. Or any other organization that maybe outside of the city of Lloyd.
Where can people get more information about you, Jason?
Just reach out to me through Facebook. I'm very approachable. Everything is on my personal profile. I also have a Facebook page. I haven't been updating it as of lately, but yeah, just feel free to reach out. Give me a call, whatever, email. I'm open to a conversation.
Thanks, Jason.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll meet Sara Christie, who is also vying for City Council.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal, and that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Synergy Credit Union, we're more than just a financial institution. We're your partners in every step of your journey. From supporting local businesses to enhancing community life, we're committed to making a difference. Join us in shaping a brighter future. Together, we thrive, because this is Synergy.
Bring home the beef this October at the new Lloydminster Nissan. Finance any new vehicle with the new Lloydminster Nissan, and you'll get a quarter of beef at Diamond 7 Meats for free. Selection is at its best at the new Lloydminster Nissan with an amazing lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, like the incredible Nissan Pathfinder and very popular Nissan Rogue. Finance a new Nissan Frontier and fill your freezer this winter. Bring home a new Nissan and bring home the beef only at the new Lloydminster Nissan. Now on Highway 17 South. The new Lloydminster Nissan. We won't sell you a car, we'll help you buy one. Welcome back inside the new Lloydminster Nissan. Wellings of Lloydminster is an active 55 and over community for those that are living a busy lifestyle or those that want to start living maintenance free because of their health or because they want to travel more. Either way, there's 66 units at Wellings of Lloydminster. Each come with a full kitchen, 5 appliances, walk-in shower, and in-suite laundry. And in this busy community, you can get to know your neighbors as well. They're building a gorgeous clubhouse. They're also going to put in a pickleball court just for residences. You can learn more by calling Darlene, and what she'll do is take you through one of their 1 or 2 bedroom villas, and the 2 bedroom villas do come with garages. If you want to have a pet, you can have a pet. You're living an independent, active life. But if you're ready to slow down, Wellings might be just what you're looking for care freedom living. 780-872-8537.
You forgot the easy financing part.
No, it's all leasing. All leasing.
Leasing,
No
yes.
owning, only leasing.
Easy leasing. it
Easy
says.
leasing, yeah. So Sara Christie is here. She is vying for City Council, and we're going to get to know Sara with a few questions as well. First thing would be, Sara, you've never served on City Council, so we'd like to get to know you a little bit. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to put your name forward to run for City Council?
Okay, well, first I want to congratulate you for taking my V card because this is my first interview ever.
Okay.
So you're my first.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, this should be interesting
Yes.
then. Yeah.
So tell them
Yeah.
about myself. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm born and raised here in Lloyd. I'm 41 years old, and I graduated from the comp in 2001 under Deb MacArthur. Woohoo, Deb! So my dad was a blue-collar welder. He had a shop called Jody's Welding. My maiden name is Velticold, so my aunt and uncle, Don and Dave, they were high up in Husky, Refinery, and the big fancy tower. Upgrader, Don had a huge part in the opening of the Upgrader. And my uncle Neil owned Sabre Communications for a long time. My family's from River Course, McLaughlin area. That's where my dad grew up. That was the family farm. And my great-grandma, Dinah, or Dina, I still don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, the Dinah district was named after her because I was told she was the first white woman in the area. My grandma, she was a Hogue. She became Beltgold. She came over on the ship and landed Pier 21. Is it Pier 21 or 51?
I think so.
21, Halifax.
Yeah, I think so.
When she was 2 years old, she came over, and they settled here. They found the beautiful prairies and settled here. So that goes back to, like, my grandma was born in 1927. So if she was 1929. So we've been here since the 20s. And my grandma just passed away here in January. She was 97, almost 97. So she went through it all, the dirty 30s, like the wars. She came from that to the internet. Like, she saw it all. And so, yeah, that's a bit about me. I have 3 boys. I'm a hockey mom. We're busy with that. I was a registered nurse for 16 years at the Lloyd Hospital. That was my one and only job. I went to school at the University of Calgary and got my nursing degree there. Made the distinctions, with distinction, made the dean's list. So I do have a brain, even though I'm blonde. And yeah, I made the decision to come back to Lloyd, because when I left Lloyd at the age of 18, I thought I'd never be back here. I hated this place, to be honest. But my father ended up passing away from cancer when I was 22. So after I graduated, I decided to come back home and be closer to my mom and family. And yeah, it's a good place to raise kids here just because the community is still a community. It's easy to get around. Once you know people, you know them for life. So I don't mind raising my boys here. But I honestly never thought I would come back to Lloyd. I still love Calgary. My heart's there. Maybe someday I'll be back there. But So I just recently resigned from my position at the hospital because I wanted to pursue my passion in politics. I've had a passion my whole life. I remember back when I was like 10 and home for summer vacation, I used to watch soap operas because that's what we did all day long. Our parents were working, we watched soap operas, days of our lives. And back then, if some big news story came on, you know, the news story like overtook your show. And I remember the Oklahoma City bombing that happened, and for some reason I was so drawn to it. I was glued to the television. I journaled about it. I don't know what about it just drew me to this. And it was the office building that was bombed, and there was a daycare inside, and so many kids were killed. And yeah, so I've kind of just been drawn to world events all my life, and it led me to this. Like, I put blood, sweat, and tears into the hospital for 16 years, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do at the end of the day. So I decided to resign from that and pursue to make a change.
How can council foster economic growth in our city? Where do you see areas of success, and what would you do to attract more diverse businesses to our community?
So number one is local. We have a tremendous amount of local businesses, shops, and that I think is our number one. Number two and three is obviously oil and gas and farming. We're a huge oil and gas town, huge farming industry. And to be honest, I don't like that word diverse. I don't know really where it came from. I don't see the need for diverse. I think we're diverse enough. We have farming, oil and gas, local shops. So did I answer the question?
Well, I think what it might mean is, like, is there any businesses here that maybe you would go to out of the city, you know, that you would like to see move into Lloydminster, have a different variety?
We already have diverse. Like, we have, you know, the Filipino yummy bread shop. We have a vast variety of restaurants, like Lebanese and like Cedar Kebab, and we have hair salons. We have shopping, car dealerships. We got everything already.
Okay. Homelessness was listed as our biggest concern by the current Saskatchewan MLA as we head into the provincial election. What recommendations would you make to help solve the issue?
Okay, so this is very complex, and when I get on council, we're going to take local experts from every field. We need to talk to the residents. We need to talk to RCMP. We need to talk to the people that work with the homeless, even talk to some of the homeless people. And it has to be a community-oriented, involved solution. Like, everyone from every aspect that's affected by it has to be involved in this solution, because it is major. I understand it's like the number one major concern for most people in Lloydminster, and it is our problem. It's everybody's problem, so we all have to find a solution together.
Along with homelessness, crime is a huge concern for all residents right across both provinces, Saskatchewan and Alberta. How do you think council can develop and maintain a safe and viable community for everyone?
How do I?
Along with homelessness, crime is a huge concern for all residences right across. How do you think council can develop and maintain a safe?
So we need to work with our police department way more than we do, and we need to encourage residents to call the police department way more than they do. Local, like the Olive Tree, I'm sorry, you can't deal with the homeless. The cops need to deal with that. So people that are overstepping and trying to deal with the crime and the problems in the city, crime is the RCMP and bylaw, potentially. Like, so we need to get way more of the RCMP involved.
So are you saying like the Olive Tree is trying to solve the crime issue?
Yeah, they're trying to take care of the homeless issue downtown. That's not their jurisdiction. They're just there to provide food.
Well, healthcare is a provincial responsibility. What role do you see council playing in order to ensure residents are getting the best care possible closer to home? And being
so
RN,
as
this
council,
is right up here.
we play an important role as advocates. We advocate for our community and for our needs.
Okay. Many user groups of the BioClean Aquatic Center wish they had more accessibility to pool time and increased lanes and length, etc. We're using a temporary space right now for our museum, and we've moved the library to the Lloyd Mall, and a new event center is set to open in 2025. What do you see as the next major recreational facility needed for our community, and can we pay for this without increasing taxes?
Well, we blew the budget on the Synovus hub, so we're stuck with it.
You wouldn't, if you wouldn't, so kind of kick the can down until we get that paid for, kind of thing?
Yeah, we have no money, so how can we build anything else?
But you do have people pushing city council for a pool. They're pushing
Yes,
for this. They're
we
pushing
need
for
a
the
new
museum.
pool.
I've talked to people every day that say the museum is just temporary.
So we have
A
to
new
figure
one
out
has
the
to be
budget
built. So
before
how
we
do
can decide how to get us a better pool.
Okay. Do you believe that the city of Lloydminster mayor and council is transparent? What would you do to make them more transparent?
So funny thing is, I voted for Albers based on his platform, transparency, and they are absolutely not transparent. I mean, what's with the closed session? It's a public office. Why do they have to meet behind closed doors without the cameras and microphones on? I don't get that.
So you'd have that no more closed
No
sessions.
more. Like, these are public servants. They voted us in. Why are we keeping secrets from them?
Do you believe that decisions are made based on the information and recommendations provided by city administration, or do you believe there's influence from outside parties that influence decision making?
Both, however, money talks.
Can you expand on that?
So the influence from outside parties in decision making, money talks.
But what do you
Money
mean-
has power.
But what do you mean by that? Like, do you mean like
They're
like
more
they-
heavily influenced in money
by-
from the outside,
from business, from
from outside investors, foreign investors.
okay. Do you believe this city should invest in? Do you have proof of that?
Oh my gosh.
But do you? Like, do you?
There's a
Like-
lot of proof out there.
But where? Where would a person find
It's
that proof?
out there.
Where?
You just got to dig. I've been doing my research for years. I have a great group of people behind me that have been doing their research for years. It's out there.
So if somebody asked you to point them in the right direction, what would you say?
I'd say do your own research. It's out there.
Okay. Do you believe the city should invest in public transportation?
Absolutely
Why or
not.
why not?
I think we need some form of shuttle service. Like we have those shuttle vans around town.
Border City Connects.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, to get you from point A to point B, you still have to walk to that site, but at least you're not walking all the way from Father Gorman to Walmart. Maybe you're walking to the stop on the main artery and then catching away. But public transportation is a joke. It loses money. Like no city profits from it. It's a money waster. We're not big enough to support public transportation.
But Cold Lake has
and,
it. Like the argument.
But we're not Cold Lake, we're Lloydminster.
But the argument would
And
be
the
from
thing
residents
is-
say, well, Cold Lake has it. They're smaller.
yeah, but
than
we're
us.
not Cold Lake, we're Lloydminster.
Okay.
So the thing with public transit is the taxpayers are paying for it. We're flipping the bill. And the majority of taxpayers in this town will never use the service. I do not want my tax dollars going up to pay for public transit because I have a vehicle. My kids have rides. We will never use that service. So it is a waste of money. But we do need some kind of shuttle service solution for the people that need it.
Sarah, where can people find more information about you? And
Well-
if they have questions.
I made a Facebook page for my campaign, so you could just message me on there, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
Thank
Sara
you.
Christie, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back with you on Tuesday. We'll be coming your way with a Tuesday night sports show. And then Wednesday, Thursday, we continue to meet prospective city councillors. We have invited all city councillors prospective city councillors to come on our program. Each one has accepted. We've given them the same questions, and we will continue to do so next week and into November. Thank you.